Always keep learning. ABLE. You're able to do anything. TechStart. Tech for good.
What if there's a way that you could build funnels, websites, e-commerce stores, all without having to even put money down? That's exactly the benefit that TechStart members are getting. And I'm going to show you right now how to build a funnel to grow your social media pages. So follow me. Let's go into the CRM. We're here in the system. When you get logged in, you might be on a different page. You want to find sites. Go to sites in the bottom left. There's all sorts of different ways that we could build websites. In this video, I'm going to show you how to build it from the ground up. So we are going to click new funnel, and yes, there's funnel AI. I'm excited to show you, but first we got to learn from the ground up. So I'm going to show how to make a social media promo page. So we are creating a new funnel from blank. And the reason why we're going to do this is if you really want to learn web design, I want you, we're not even learning HTML, CSS, or JavaScript yet. These are things we can learn in the future, but we're going to create a page. There's still some fundamentals about web page design that you can learn by watching this video from the ground up or even following the process. So again, we came to this blank page. Now, the first thing I want to share with you is that there are 3 different sections, key sections to think about for your website for any page. You have your header. Okay, this is where your menu and logo go, and any other content that you're going to have at the top of the page. You have your body. This is all of the sections that are on your website. And then you have your footer. Okay, now depending on the website you're building, let's say you need to build a multi-page site like a blog that might one day have hundreds of blog posts. If you need to make changes to your menu, or you need to make changes to the logo, or to an alert, or to the footer, it's so much better to make the change one time, right? Can you imagine having 200 pages and you need to add an alert to every page? Oh boy, was that the woe of previous web designers, but not anymore, because in this system, we're going to use global headers and global footers, and sometimes even global bodies. So this is how we're going to do it. The first thing is we're going to go to this plus add elements area. And the way that web design works is it really is a series of containers, with the top container in this system being a section. So I'm going to drop that in, and now we have a section. In a section, we can do a couple of things, mainly add in rows that have multiple columns. So I will add let's say I am building my social media promo page. So I'm going to go ahead and add 1 column because I just want one image here centered. So I'm going to also look up image and throw in an image. All right, so now I have my header here, my top section. So let's go ahead and make some adjustments here. The first thing I want to point out is that whenever I click on any of these things, whether it's the section that is green or the row that is blue or this image here, the area on the right side changes. Whenever you click on any element inside your website, you have different settings that you can change. So now that I've clicked on my image, let's go ahead and add an image in here. So I am going to upload a photo. Let's see what kind of good photo I've got. Let's do a photo of myself. I think I have some headshots here. Nothing like an empty folder. All right, well, I'm gonna smile for the camera. There we go. Just uploaded the screenshot. I am not a fan of this picture, but here we have a picture. I am so not a fan of this picture, but that's not the point. The point is to just upload an image. We're creating a promo page for social media. So now I've got my image. Now, of course, I want to add some text here. And so I can go back to my quick add section and I can add a headline. All right, so in here I could say connect with Elias, for example. Now notice there's some spacing here, and notice actually there's a new green section. This is important because these are 2 separate sections. If I wanted a section to be global, it would only make this area global because this would be left out. So I'm actually going to drag my text element, bring it closer to my image. And if I want to control the spacing between the image to text or the spacing in anywhere, I click any element like my image here and kind of look around in my settings, click on style, come down here and you can see padding. Okay, so padding represents the space. So if I wanted to tighten it up, I might cut my padding down to 0. If I needed more space, I will add more space. I'll give you an example of when we want to make sure we're paying attention to space. And that is mobile responsiveness. More than 50% of your website viewers are going to be looking at your website from your phone. So I'm going to click on mobile mode, and you can see here, connect with Elias now is dropped down. And maybe that's not what I want to do, right? So I can now go to click on my element of the text of this headline, go to general, and I can adjust things like the font size. So bring the font size, let's say down to 32, for example. And that should be fine. There's other things that you could do here with text. You could change the text alignment. When you are designing for mobile, I generally will add 20 pixels of padding on each side of this. And you'll see as we get into more examples of websites why that's important. Okay, so we've got Connect with Elias here. Now I'm going to go ahead and continue adding elements. I recommend you look at everything here on the left that is available to you. And if I'm going to make the social media one, what I'm going to do is focus on just Instagram and TikTok today. And the first thing I'm going to do is add a new row. Blue is the row, and I'm going to add a 2-column row. Now, there's actually multiple ways that you can stack images to look next to each other in a site. This is one of those ways, is a 2-column row. So I dropped in an SVG, and the reason why is maybe I can find an SVG already. Okay, if you can't find something that's available in the system, or you need to start sourcing things yourself, we're going to go ahead and do that right now because it's just an important thing to know. I recommend Canva. Canva is a great tool. We'll do some more videos on Canva specifically, but for right now, I'm going to Canva and creating really just anything, but I'm going to go for a square because squares are the easiest thing to resize. So I'll pick a custom size, and it looks like I've got a 5,000 by 5,000 pixels. It's probably too much. I'm going to go by 1080. And inside of Canva now, I can search up an element like Instagram, and Instagram pops up, throw that in there. Now, I'm going to make this edge to edge because if I want white space in my site, I'm going to control that through padding. But if I leave too much white space in my design, I won't be able to change that in the website. All right, same deal for TikTok. Now we've got TikTok and Instagram here. The next thing I'm going to do is download these. And when I download them, I'm going to pick the option transparent background, just so that in case I wanted a different color than white, I don't have these weird white blocks. Now, depending on the computer, if you downloaded multiple files, you're going to need to unzip your files. So Mac makes it real easy. I just unzip my files. So now I can go back to our image editor and now upload these two designs. And so here comes Instagram. Way too big, right? So let's go ahead in our settings. Let's adjust the width size. And so it's set for auto. I'm going to see what it looks like at 150 pixels. Probably still too big. Let's go for 75. And we'll just call it a day at 75. Now I can duplicate my image file so I retain the settings, drag this over, and now I can switch it out for TikTok. Also, we want these to be clickable, right? And so to make my Instagram clickable to my Instagram, I'm going to click on my element, and I have an option here called image actions. And so I'm going to pick the action that says go to website URL. And so now in a new tab, let me just try to find my Instagram. Oh boy, what is it? Great, that was it. Let me do the same for TikTok here in a second. But I grabbed my Instagram URL and I'm pasting it there. And when people are on my website, I don't want them to leave my website because I took them to Instagram. So at the very least, I'm going to select open a new tab. So the web page will still be there when they return from Instagram. Let's say I grabbed my TikTok URL. It's going to be the same deal here. I'm going to just click on the image, change the image action to go to website URL, paste my URL in there, and open it in a new tab. Now, there's stuff that you could do here. For example, you might say, you know what, I don't like how much space exists here. And so one thing you could do is click on the blue row, and you also get the settings in your blue row area, and I can actually adjust the width here. So now I can just make that way tighter. Also, we want to regularly check our mobile, maybe even design in mobile. Now, the way that I set this up being a 2-column row is that these columns stack in mobile, and maybe you don't want this to stack on mobile. So I'll show you a trick for how to do that, how to fix that. What we're going to do is duplicate this row just so you can see a different example. And I'm actually going to move my TikTok image into the same box as my Instagram. I'm going to delete this other box now. Okay, now it's stacked here. I'm going to click on the blue row, and instead of the style, let's see, there's a specific setting here. Where is it? A setting to change how it stacks. Maybe, oh, it's not in blue. It's this purple thing. This controls, weirdly enough, the elements within the purple section. And we see it's set for content alignment being vertical. We are going to change that content alignment to be horizontal. And that should now translate on mobile. So we'll get rid of this other blue row. Okay, let's say also on this page, I want people to be able to message me directly in case I want them to be able to message me for whatever reason. That is when this form comes into action and to be handy again. And so here we go. Now, this is really rudimentary. We're not really adding a lot of design pizzazz to this just yet. And we are going to do that in the next video. But this essentially is some of the fundamentals of the web page design. We really just went over the visual editor that has this drag and drop builder. I want to make sure that you look at each of these icons here. So you have, for example, the ability to navigate and see all of the layers and sections of your page. You're able to jump between different pages in your funnel as we build more pages. We're able to add in tracking code, such as your Facebook pixel or Google Analytics code or anything else. Typography and brand typography, if you want to set that site-wide, that can be easy and helpful. Background, if you have a background image or you want to change the color of your site. Pop-up settings, if you do decide to create a pop-up, when they should be triggered. SEO metadata, this is important. SEO stands for search engine optimization, and we'll go in that in a later video. But if you want your website to rank on Google or any of the search engines, then you will at minimum want to have all of this content here, from content of your title page and description all the way down to language filled out, so that you're telling Google and the rest of the internet world what is going on your website. And let's see. Okay, that should do it for now. Come back in here with me as we're going to use some even more rapid, more advanced, better looking website design tactics.